It's Rahul here for Punch Out Boxing. I'm here with Gary Lockett, head of the Sheeraz Williams press conference. How are you, Gary, first of all?
I'm very well, very well. And yourself?
Yeah, wonderful. Great being here as ever, meeting all the fighters and yourself and getting the benefit of your wisdom. So, when we last spoke down there at the Peacock, there was talk that Liam might fight another young hotshot, McKenna. Um, Tell us why that one didn't come through.
Nothing really materialised. There was lots of rumours of offers being made here and there, but there was one offer made, and for some reason, nothing ever happened. Nothing bore fruit. I think in the lead up to this fight being offered, I think they were trying to put something together for about December time. And then obviously Liam had this offer from his manager and took this offer. It was just better overall offer and better overall deal.
And yourself as coach, when you heard about it, you tell him jump at it.
What, this fight? Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, I think Aaron McKenna would have been an easier fight. I think this is a much more difficult fight. Um, Obviously, HAMZAH's looking really good. You know, unbeaten record with a lot of stoppages. So yeah, it's a great fight for Liam to show us where he is. If he's still as good as he was, a lot of people will point to the Eubank fight where they said that his punch resistance had gone, but there's a couple of things leading up to that fight which explain why he went down a few times, as I said to you previously. But he's been training, the best part of a year now with a couple of breaks here and there to go on holidays. A bit frustrated that no fights have come up, but luckily we're where we are now, and it's a massive fight come December the 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. How much have you followed Hunter's career? Uh, like I said, looked good, but a few fights ago showed a bit of vulnerability. He can be hurt.
Yeah, but in fairness to HAMZAH, what fighter doesn't show any vulnerability in any of their lead-up fights? Didn't he make his debut in the Albert Hall? Someone said to me the other day, but I haven't checked it out. I think he made his debut in the Albert Hall where Liam stopped Joe Mullinder. Someone said this the other day. If I'm wrong, I apologise. Um, so it's a funny one, isn't it? Making his debut on one of Liam's British title defences, and then ends up fighting him a few years later. So no, look, we all saw the Bradley Skeet fight. Um, I think he got dropped in the one fight, the flash knockdown as well. So there's obviously things that we look to work towards. But look, he's not got the reputation he has, and I don't think Frank Warren's is investing in him the way he is because he's not very good. He's obviously a very, very decent fighter, a very decent prospect, and I've been impressed with him as well. So it's a great fight.
And unusually for a British fighter, he's relocated over to California and really getting sort of that hard American sort of wars day in, day out, because apparently that's how they spar.
Yeah, and great. I think there's lots of good coaches here, along with America. A lot of the guys that go over to America end up coming back here anyway. So I don't really know what he can do over there that he can't do over here. Perhaps better sparring. Perhaps he likes the coaching. I think I've seen his coach once or twice. He seems like a very, very good coach with a lot of experience. So yeah, I'm sure that he's really enjoying it over there. And also, when you go away from home, I think you take the everyday life away from being at home. You bring to the table the sacrifice that you have to be away from home, and a lot of the time being at home, you've got everything's too easy, isn't it? So I think it can be a very bright idea to go away, and so yeah, good.
And what about Williams? Is he still Mr. Angry?
I think you'll see today. I think people forget about Liam. I think he's only ever Mr. Angry where people have wound him up first. Um, so Hams is a gentleman, I think, isn't he? So I don't think he goes for all that rubbish. So I just get a feeling Liam would be exactly the same, and he'd be as respectful as he can be. I think if someone's not respectful to Liam, I think that's where you see him snap, and that's where you see him be Mr. Angry. So yeah, all the Sheeraz'S and the family, they seem like decent guys. So I'm sure it'll be a lower key affair.
Yeah, but one thing he probably hasn't lost is that punch power, and yeah, I mean he's always thrown through his career, much like himself. a big punch. And looking for him to really sort of test Shiraz's chin and see whether there are vulnerabilities there.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's not forget, I think he lost his boxing ability over the years. I think back years ago when he was first winning British Commonwealth titles, won the WBO European, that come from a base of boxing, and I think over the years he forgot about that. I think he just got carried away with his power, carried away with his strength, and it's like I said to him when we got back together, last year. It's about percentages, and when you make silly mistakes, you lean in with certain shots, you put your head over the front foot. At that level, you're going to get punished, and I think that's what he did against Andrade and against Chris Eubank. Just dived in a few times, and he paid the price for that. And so we tried to get him back on track. Um, tried to get him back on track, boxing a little bit more, spreading the weight between front foot and back foot, and kind of bringing his power punches into his boxing rather than just being like a bull at a gate and being all out attack. So hopefully he's listened. Seems to be a little bit better in the last few months. So that's what we're going to be looking to do is just take the time a little bit more. HAMZAH's a dangerous guy. He's got lovely boxing ability, very tall. So I think you have to be a fool to dive in because obviously with that height, he's got a wide stance and he can just lean onto that back foot and send the counters in. So um, I think anybody boxing HAMZAH has to be very wary of them counter punches.
Yeah, indeed. A few of his opponents have obviously paid for it. Yeah, is it fair to say that when a fighter gets to like 30 plus, in some ways they can become better because that knowledge and that patience now compensates for, say, the slight slowing down and the recklessness of youth?
The recklessness of youth, yeah, I think that's a very good way to describe it. I think that it's a lot more grown up now. Got two children, and whether it shows in the fight or not, I don't know. But he seems to be on track with what I'm trying to instill back into him. Is that ability and that boxing like a chess player really, rather than going in bull at the gate and walking into stupid shots. And it's never good to take unnecessary shots. That's what I always tell everybody in the gym. The more shots you take, the more time you're taking off your career. So be a little bit crafty about things, and I can talk that to death. But the general consensus is that when Liam Williams is at his best, when he's boxing, he's going to sneak those shots in, and he only needs to land with one, and the fight's all over. And he never loses that power. He's never lost that power. If anything, I think as he's grown older, his power's got better. When he turned pro when he was 18, 19, he wasn't really known as a puncher. He was known as being very strong and wearing people down. But I think his power and his snap has improved over the years, and I don't think it's any different. I think he's getting more and more of a hurtful puncher all the time. And the more he relaxes, then the more you'll see that.
Interesting. I just wonder, you know what this game's like, how ruthless it is. I'm sure Frank Warren and his matchmate will think, right, well, Hamza's on his way up. Liam, based on his last fight or two, or major fights, probably on his way down. But matchmakers get it wrong. And I mean, how does Liam at this point in his career, when he's offered these fights, does he know that's what they've got in mind? But he knows, well, actually, no, I've got this much left and it's enough to deal with these youngsters.
Yeah, of course, and obviously, look, I've worked with Frank and the guys for donkey's years. I know they're absolutely incredible at their job, and they don't get much wrong. So that's the very reason that Liam Williams is here today, because they think that it's a big name for HAMZAH to move on upwards. Of course, that's why it is. But as you said, matchmakers and people do get things wrong, and that's what we're working towards, that they've got it wrong.
So if Liam wins this, I guess his aim is another crack at the world title. This time with yourself in his corner. I mean, they say the middleweight division's weak and it's been for years. If he gets through this, do you fancy his chances against some or all of the belt holders?
Really speaking, I think we can't really look past this fight, can we? I mean, if he beats HAMZAH, then we just have to see what's next. And I mean, the thing is, as long as he's in big fights, earning big money for his future and for his family, I think that's a good thing. And People said, well, "How'd you work that?" I said the same thing to someone the other day, and I know world champions in Wales who've got that belt on the mantelpiece, but they're skint. They got no money. What good is that title belt on the mantelpiece if you've got no money to show for it? So, you know, there's a lot of fights on Sky and on and all over the world where guys are in big fights and there's no title on the line. But these guys are good big names and they fight each other and money's there. It doesn't really need to be a title on the line. So would we like him to go sort of towards a world title again? Of course we would. But like I say, as long as he's in big fights, then he's moving forward and progressing, definitely.
Fantastic. Just finally, what about a couple of your upcomers? Kieran, we saw him over in London recently, so good to get him away from home. There's Carville. How's things coming on with them?
Yeah, really good. I think Reese is contracted Sky. Reese Edwards, he's good. Super bantam featherweight kid coming up. He's really good. We got a kid called Kane Shepherd who's a real good knockout puncher. Super feather. Just need an opportunity for him. You spoke about Kieran Jones, who nobody will know him really because, but he was a multi-titled amateur. Went to the Commonwealth Games and great kid, proper professional. 8-0. Just had a bit of a test in London. Referee gave it 58-56, which I didn't think was accurate. I thought Kieran won it very comfortably. I thought he won it 60-55 probably. Performed really well. Showed a little bit of a different part to his game. Showed his footwork and his amateur boxing skills. Um, so yeah, we got good hopes for Kieran moving forward as well. And there's a host of other guys as well. So yeah, it's going really well.
All right, yeah, South Wales, always a hotbed of talent, and with you leading the way, yeah, you are Mr. South Wales,
With very little opportunity.
indeed.
Doesn't come down South Wales. I think they are looking to go back down in the new year, maybe. Same with Matchroom and Boxer, they don't really come down there. So the only real opportunities for the South Wales boxers is on small hall bills, and then there's not much opportunity on those. So we need the big promoters to come down to get our guys on there to give them some sort of platform to show what they can do, really. So yeah.
All right, I'll put the word out, promoters, because as a fan, I love going to Cardiff and Swansea. So yeah, let's get some shows out there. All right, Gary, absolute pleasure. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you in December.